Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Batman Cataclysm trade, the newer printing, versus what's in the old printing here. And we might talk about a little bit about Road to No Man's Land as well. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. We got another overview for you today, the Batman Cataclysm trade, which is out of print. So I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just really excited that I got it. This was printed, I think, back in 2016. This is the new printings. Yeah, 2015. These are the new printings. These all have the red striped spines with the older logo on here. And if you're looking at the Road to No Man's Land trades, that's when these came out shortly after. These look like that on your shelf. And then there's the 4-volume No Man's Land set, which looks like that as well. So all the spines look nice together, and there you have it. So interestingly, the No Man's Land trades I think are relatively easy to find. You can still find them for retail price on Amazon and probably places like eBay or maybe even your local comic shop. The Road to No Man's Land you can also find, I think, are pretty much readily available. If you're looking to get them, I picked them up off, I think, Amazon for, relatively easy money. I think I got all the No Man's Land trades, the new editions, from In Stock Trades, and I did a video on that. So you can check that out as well if you want to see what's in those. So these all run, anywhere between $30 and $35. This one's $30, so we'll get to that. So what is Cataclysm? Well, Cataclysm is the earthquake that basically ruins Gotham City in such a manner that it needs to become a no man's land a few months later in the Batman books. So No Man's Land, I think, happened in 99, 2000, or 2000, 2001. So we're talking turn of the millennium age DC Comics here. And this happened, I want to say it was 99. Does it have a... Yeah, 1998. Okay, so even a little bit earlier than I was thinking. So this Cataclysm collection has been a bear to find. When I had decided that I wanted to update all of my No Man's Land collections to the new editions because they contained more issues, and I wanted to read the Road to No Man's Land because that was coming out as well. I knew I wanted to get Cataclysm because it also contained a little bit more, but mainly for the newer paper and because the spines would match and look better on my shelf, the typical collector mentality. This is the old trade from, I think, when it first came out. That's what that spine looks like. And it's fairly complete. This one was published in 1999, so this is right after it happened. It's got the old, matte, thicker newsprint type stuff, but the colors just look better on this newer glossy paper than the old. Let me find Nightwing here. Yeah. So, I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but they do look a little bit better on this newer, glossier, thicker paper that's in these newer printings. So, anyway, this Cataclysm trade is incredibly hard to find. I actually picked this up off eBay for, believe it or not, $60. Retails for $30. So yes, I paid double the price of what I probably should have for this trade that for some reason is no longer being printed, not readily available. I don't know if they underprinted them or whatever, but this thing is hard to find. And because of that, you can find, like, if you just Googled Batman Cataclysm on Amazon or something like that, you'd see people trying to sell this for $100, $145 just for this trade paperback. And one day I was like, hey, I wonder if there's any copies on eBay that people might be trying to get rid of. And sure enough, there was. And I weighed it, and I went, $60. And I went, yeah, let's do it. So I'm pretty happy about it, too. Because now I can read the entire thing, front to back, in the most complete kind of thing there is. Now, I know there is a Road to No Man's Land Omnibus coming out, And that Road to No Man's Land Omnibus will contain basically these 3 volumes. I think the way they're printed here, probably. Cataclysm, Road to No Man's Land Volume 1, and Volume 2 here. So if you're looking at the thickness of that book, probably be about that. Couple inches. You know, probably a good 2 inches. Maybe a little bit thicker if they got thicker paper. But it's going to be oversized, so there's that. The downside to that is I don't think, unless they update the scans on this, on some of these issues, because some of these issues scans look terrible, I don't know that you're going to be very happy with it. But anyway, let's get into the book. So all these are pretty much collected the same. They're all designed the same, but the way that they put them together is a little bit different, and I'll show you what I mean. Like Cataclysm here, when you're flipping through, they all the No Man's Land, Road to No Man's Land stuff has a table of contents, which is nice. It tells you what issue it is, from what series, who, the name of the storyline, who wrote it, all the guys that worked on it, except for the editors and stuff like that. But they can't decide whether they want to put the covers in front or behind, because, and even the Cataclysm's not consistent. So right here you have the Cataclysm Prelude, Batman Detective Comics 719. Now, a portion of this story is collected in this old version of the trade paperback, just these last couple of pages here, drawn by Bill Willingham. It's like 4 pages, I think, right when the earthquake starts to rumble, and it ends right here on the Batcave. That's the, like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages? Yeah. And then it goes to part 1 of Cataclysm, which is the next issue in this one. This actually collects the entire issue. And it's got, you know, I think it's Jim Aparo on art. Yeah. So there we go. Here's the end of the issue and the beginning of that. But they have a cover here. What's weird, though, is that this is Cataclysm Part 1, this one. But it doesn't tell you what book it is because they took the cover title treatment off. When you flip it over, it doesn't have anything on the other side to tell you what book it was or anything like that. But it does have the page, so you can go Cataclysm, Castles Built on Sand. Okay, what is this? Go back to the table of contents and go, oh, this is Shadow of the Bat 73. So, okay, but why they leave this on here and then leave it, you know, take it off with the painted cover? I don't know. I don't know why. Like right there, why doesn't this have Cataclysm like the way it was presented? Now, it's a beautiful cover. It deserves to have a full page treatment for sure. I'm not arguing that part, but I'm just would like some little consistency. So let's go to this Nightwing issue, which I think is part 2. So they leave it off here. And this is when they were doing like some of these covers, you'll see like a little red aftershock thing or whatever. But Scott McDaniel actually worked that into his cover because he knew it was going to be covered up. So that's smart, right? So let's go to the next issue, which, right here, Mark Buckingham. Nothing on here, right? Strange. Keep going. Here's Klaus Janson. Where's the end of Mark Buckingham? Oh, there's Klaus Janson. Mark Buckingham did the cover. Okay. So you get past Klaus Janson to show. Here's the Azrael book. So these Azrael issues, for whatever reason, they look a little bit worse than some of the other ones. And this Azrael issue is not contained in the regular Cataclysm trade whatsoever. So here you go. Where was the cover? Right here. So this is Azrael number 40. He'd been doing stuff with Bane up until that point. And so you kind of have to read into it before reading this. But the earthquake allows Bane to escape, which I think comes in later down the line during No Man's Land. And Azrael and Jean Paul Valley have a history if you've read Nightfall Part 2. Again, no cover treatment. But later on in the book, trying to prove me wrong here. Batman Huntress. So you get the little Cataclysm thing on the left here. Most of them had this little red treatment. Here you go. Batman Cataclysm on the left-hand side, number 554. So why do they have the regular full cover even with the little white box. I have no idea. So it's inconsistent, depending on what it is. Maybe is it issue of Batman, but this first one was it Shadow of the Bat? Yeah, Detective Comics. So I don't even understand. And the weird part is the some of the Cataclysm issues would say above the writer, 9, 10. Here's the Arkham Asylum one shot here. Doesn't have anything on the front. So some of these are like one-shots in between all the different stories, the actual like 10 or 12 parts. But you wouldn't know that based on the stuff that's on the cover. So like this one says Batman Cataclysm Part 12 down here. So, and I think this might be the actual last issue in the regular trade. Little Orphan Andy, or no, this Robin issue is the last one, and it ends back here. Some ads, there you go. So it does end on the same page, on the same note. So what is in here in the new version of the trade that's not in the old version? So what are we adding? Well, we are adding all of Detective Comics 719, not just 3 pages, so you're getting the complete issue there. Whether that's important to the story or not, who knows. You are getting Robin 52, which if I flip through here, it'll take me a while to find it, but I did verify this is just, again, the last couple pages of Robin 52. Even though the cover's included and the cover has a Cataclysm thing on here, I think it's fairly early on in the issue, in this trade. Just a couple pages where Robin's flying in to Gotham City. And it doesn't really say, you don't get the full story. Because I looked up on Comixology, thank you Comixology for having digital stuff. You can look and actually preview, here we go. So this has got the full cover thing, Cataclysm, but it's just a couple pages. He's on a plane, coming back, Gotham's on fire, and then boom, we have this another cover here. So they're not including that full issue, but looking at the description of it on Comixology, if you were to look at like the digital version of that particular Robin 52, it's like the finale to a storyline or something that was going on at that time. So I get, it makes sense why they didn't include the entire issue here, but it's just a little weird. So what is in this new version that's not in the old one? Well, I think Blackgate Isle of Men, that is in here. Huntress Spoiler one shot is in both of them. So you're getting all of Detective Comics 719, the little bit of Robin that we just highlighted here, and you're also getting it's in the back here, is that one I showed you, the Arkham Asylum Tales of Madness #1. That's also in here. So it's a little bit more, the Catwoman issues. You get one extra issue of Catwoman. You get number 57. 56 is in the original. Shadow of the Bat 73 and 74 are also here. Nightwing 19 and 20 also here. So you're getting maybe 3 or 4 extra issues. I think that Tales of Madness one shot's a little bit thicker. But if you're upgrading your collection, it's not a bad option. I think the only downside is, like I said before, some of these scans, particularly these old Azrael issues that nobody's paid attention to in 20 years, don't look the best compared to the rest of the artwork. I mean, some of the Jim Aparo stuff, but even this scan doesn't look that great. Like, it looks a little weird compared to like a couple pages prior with this Jim Aparo artwork. So it's a little weird on why it looks bad or looks the way it does. So that's a bummer. But if you're like me and a completist, I guess you can go try and find it. I don't know. Haven't seen anything about them trying to reprint this at all, other than it being included in the upcoming Omnibus, the Road to No Man's Omnibus. So, Road to No Man's Land. What happens in this book? Well, this is volume 2, so let's go to volume 1. So this book takes place right after Cataclysm. In fact, I looked at the issue numbers, and pretty much as soon as Cataclysm ends here with Detective Comics ends at 721, this one starts with 722, skips 723. It was a crossover with Green Arrow, and then goes to 724, 726, all the way in volume 2 to, we're talking Detective Comics still, 729. So if you were to put this on your shelf with the Cataclysm, you would put it right after, I'm probably going to put it after my Gotham Night Out, because that ends with Detective 719, with Chuck Dixon writing and Graham Nolan penciling. And the same thing with Batman. This has 555 through over here, 562, and Cataclysm ends with Batman 554. So you're basically getting everything after Cataclysm leading up to No Man's Land Volume 1, which is why I have this one over here, and this one doesn't have the Batman stuff on the back, so we'll peek this open. So this has Batman 563, and this Road to No Man's Land ends at 562. So there you have it. And then No Man's Land is 4 volumes. We did a video on this. This No Man's Land volume collection pretty much has everything that has a No Man's Land moniker on it. So I haven't actually read these Road to No Man's Land volumes, but I do like that they all match. You know, if you can line them all up, they all match, which is pretty neat. And they can have the entire story from the earthquake all the way through to No Man's Land, which is pretty neat. And they're, like I highlighted in my No Man's Land overview video as well, they're including everything, whereas the older collections didn't have the Azrael issues or maybe some of the Catwoman issues. Everything that had a No Man's Land banner is collected in these volumes. So this has issues of Azrael, so does volume 2 through 4. The Road to No Man's Land has issues of Azrael in here. And this one, the 47 to 50 in part 2, this is Nicholas Scratch's gang, and he was a player with Azrael. This has got the Secret Files and Origins, which I remember. I have this issue still, I think, somewhere in the house, even though I got rid of most of my single issues. Love these little Secret Files and Origins. There's Azrael. So this is the story of how Gotham City became deemed a no man's land where nobody could go in or out, because I guess after the earthquake there was maybe some political machinations that stopped things from progressing and repairing. More Azrael. Lots of Azrael in this one. You know, maybe there's an overall scheme. I know at the end No Man's Land has some Lex Luthor stuff in there and Bane, and they have a big scheme, so maybe this sets that up. But I'm interested to read it all. I've reread No Man's Land multiple times in the old volumes. Still have not gotten around to reading the new ones. But since I'm reading all my Nightfall stuff now, I'm pretty much going to go all the way through to the end of No Man's Land, and then do the Brubaker and Rucka stuff through War Games, probably. You know, hopefully before Christmas, we'll see. And then we'll have videos on all of those here on the channel as well. Just bear with me. It's a lot to read, along with everything else I'm doing for work and home and family and all that stuff. So, there you have it. Batman Cataclysm, the newer edition that no one can find. So, you can find it on Comixology. Like, you can just buy it outright if you want to read it that way. And then wait until you can get a new edition. There's the old one. Here's a new one, a little bit more complete. And if you wanted a preview of what's in the Omnibus that's coming out, you know, I gave a little bit of it to you. You don't have to worry. I think it collects everything. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys next time in the funny pages. Don't forget to like, comment down there, and subscribe. Helps the channel grow when you interact and stuff like that. And I will be down there in the comments answering any questions. So let me know if you have any. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time in the funny pages.